Have you ever felt that uneasy instinct that something isn't quite right? That's how royal observers have been feeling for years about Meghan Markle's pregnancies. From vanishing baby bumps to strange media strategies, people have been murmuring that something's amiss. Now those murmurs are escalating into outright alarms. A woman identified only as DL has emerged with stunning allegations. She claims she's the true mother of Archie and Lilibet. Yes, both children. And she's done staying quiet. According to her, she was recruited through a California agency, assured confidentiality, and concealed while Meghan strutted in maternity outfits. DL asserts she was the hidden surrogate for both births. If true, this upends everything. Meghan's entire persona, the resilient, independent royal mother targeted by the palace, starts to collapse. And Harry, he's not merely supporting her. He's entangled in the chaos. If DL's account holds up, it means Harry either was unaware, which seems unlikely, or he knew and aided in concealing it. Let's backtrack for a moment. Recall how private both of Meghan's pregnancies were. No hospital exit snapshots like Kate. No journalists stationed outside the Lindo wing. No press briefings. Just odd timing in an announcement about Archie's birth that surfaced after he was supposedly already born. Remember that? Harry awkwardly standing by a stable declaring the birth like he was reciting lines. Then Meghan appeared 2 days later, radiant and curiously slender. People dismissed it as her quickly recovering. But now everyone's questioning, did she even deliver at all? Then there's that notorious 2019 footage. You've seen it. Meghan sits during an interview and her baby bump seems to fold. Not just crease, but fold. That video ignited years of speculation, sparking the so-called moon bump theory, suggesting she used prosthetic bellies to simulate pregnancies. Back then, it felt like a far-fetched conspiracy. But with DL coming forward, those online detectives suddenly seem less outlandish. DL's story is wild but strikingly detailed. Medical records, hospital invoices, signed confidentiality agreements. She claims she was kept in near total seclusion during both pregnancies to prevent media leaks. Then discarded once the babies were born. No gratitude, no payment, just silence. She says Meghan wore a prosthetic belly, practiced public appearances, and created an illusion the world believed until now. And here's this. When Archie's birth certificate was released, Meghan's full legal name, Rachel Meghan Markle, was inexplicably replaced with Her Royal Highness, the Duchess of Sussex. Palace sources called it a formatting error, but Meghan later blamed the royals, saying it wasn't her decision. Now, it appears more like legal maneuvering, because if she didn't give birth, listing her legal name on that document might have invited lawsuits. Meanwhile, online speculation has hit a fever pitch. Clips are being analyzed frame by frame. Photos of Meghan at various pregnancy stages are being scrutinized. One day she appeared 8 months pregnant, the next barely showing. And don't forget the Morocco trip. She told someone she was 6 months pregnant just weeks after claiming 5. A minor slip, perhaps, but now it feels like deliberate deceit. This isn't just about appearances. It's about the legitimacy of 2 children in the royal lineage. And that has implications far beyond tabloids and social media. The woman known as DL isn't hiding anymore. In her first media appearance, she looked directly into the camera and declared, "I was promised privacy and payment. Instead, I was erased." That single line ignited a firestorm across news outlets and social platforms. She claims that during both pregnancies, she resided in a private, fully staffed home near Los Angeles. No phones, no contact, just isolation. Her role was to carry the children discreetly while Meghan performed for the cameras. According to DL, the operation was coldly efficient. Doctors visited weekly. She signed non-disclosure agreements so strict they made her fear for her future if she broke them. After Lilibet was born, she says she never saw either child again. No photos, no updates, just silence and the painful realization she was never meant to exist in their story. Meghan had already filmed content, staged moments, and hired handlers to shape what the world saw. And then there's Prince Harry. DL insists he knew from the start. She alleges he even visited once briefly to thank her and offer a gratitude letter. That's where it gets darker. If Harry knew and still allowed the royal narrative to unfold with a fabricated pregnancy, it's not just personal betrayal. It could be seen as constitutional fraud. The royal family isn't just a celebrity brand. It's a legal institution bound by succession and lineage rules. Any questions about Archie and Lilibet's births go beyond gossip. They strike at the core of royal legitimacy. DL's allegations are now forcing legal experts to ask a critical question. Can surrogate-born children, secretly introduced into the line of succession, even hold titles, especially if their birth was never properly disclosed to the palace or public record? Social media is erupting. Meghan's supporters call the claims absurd, a smear campaign to ruin her. But even among loyal fans, there's an odd new, quiet, for the first time, major accounts that once defended her are starting to demand transparency. If it's all false, where's the rebuttal? Why isn't Meghan suing? Why hasn't she posted a video or issued a press release? The silence feels less like strategy and more like panic. Meanwhile, Harry is reportedly unraveling behind closed doors. Insiders say he's lashing out at staff, isolating from friends, and struggling to control the spiraling narrative. Some say he feels trapped, not just by the public, but by Meghan herself. Tensions are high at home. The couple is reportedly sleeping in separate rooms, barely speaking, and arguing constantly. In private, Meghan is focused on protecting her brand and monitoring media fallout, while Harry is torn between loyalty and fear. One insider claimed Harry begged Meghan to issue a public statement, but she refused, believing acknowledging the surrogate makes it real. It's the most shocking development. DL has agreed to a DNA test. It's willing to go on record, submit samples, and testify in court. That's the one thing no one anticipated: proof. Actual biological proof. That happens, the entire narrative collapses. The palace has reportedly entered silent crisis mode. No statements, no leaks, just eerie quiet. But constitutional advisors are holding emergency meetings to assess the damage if DL's claims prove true. The pressure cooker has burst. Behind Montecito's pristine gates, Meghan Markle is in damage control mode. But there's only so much spin possible when your public image's foundation cracks. Her meticulously crafted motherhood story, once celebrated in headlines and Netflix deals, is now being questioned as a possible performance, complete with staged photos, scripted interviews, and what critics now call an optical illusion. The footage of her belly folding is resurfacing repeatedly. Once dismissed as a strange camera angle or a wardrobe issue, it's now Exhibit A. Fashion experts who once lauded her maternity style are now silent, unwilling to address those odd inconsistencies. One day, her bump was prominent and full. Next, it seemed to deflate or shift. The public no longer sees coincidence. They see choreography. And while Meghan remains silent, her former allies are starting to abandon her. A stylist from a pregnancy shoot recently hinted that not everything was as it appeared. An ex-aide anonymously revealed internal discussions about pregnancy inconsistencies, but the Sussex team shut them down. It was a no-go zone. You asked, you were out. The fallout has reached Buckingham Palace, and this time they can't ignore it. The controversy has landed at Buckingham Palace, and they can't dismiss it. Senior officials are reportedly reviewing royal protocols, especially around succession. 'Cause if Archie and Lilibet were born via surrogate and that was never disclosed to the crown, it creates a legal obstacle in the line of inheritance. Royal historians say this is unprecedented in modern royal history. Never has a potential deception of this scale reached the throne's doorstep. There's talk of possible title retractions. Nothing official yet, but insiders suggest advisors are preparing contingency plans, including removing HRH status and public distancing. One source bluntly stated, "The monarchy cannot be seen legitimizing a lie, especially when it affects the bloodline." Meanwhile, DL has reportedly hired a legal team. Her lawyers are preparing sworn statements and pushing for a televised deposition. She claims to have kept copies of correspondence with the surrogacy agency, medical scans, and delivery confirmations. Her lawyers argue her story was suppressed and her identity erased in violation of California contract laws. Particularly damning is Meghan's silence. This is a woman who sued tabloids, countered headlines, and called out misinformation in real time. But on this, nothing, no tweets, no statement, no Instagram posts. When public figures go quiet in a PR storm, the silence speaks volumes. Harry's response hasn't helped. He's reportedly stressed to the breaking point. Friends say he's not sleeping, not eating, and questioning everything. Some close to him claim he was never fully comfortable with the plan but felt trapped. One friend said he thought he was protecting her. Hey, now he's the one needing protection. The most heartbreaking part is the children. If DL is telling the truth, Archie and Lilibet have been placed at the center of a calculated deception, pawns in a global narrative to elevate a brand. Their legitimacy is now under public scrutiny, and their future in the royal institution hangs by a thread. This isn't just a media frenzy, it's a credibility implosion. Meghan and Harry once portrayed themselves as victims of royal cruelty. But now they face accusations of betrayal, manipulation, and possibly fraud. The public isn't just seeking answers anymore. They're demanding accountability.